The fall of the Aztecs. The true story they never told you. In the heart of ancient Mesoamerica stood a mighty empire, an empire whose capital shimmered with gold, floating on lakes, its temples scraping the skies. The Aztec Empire was one of the most powerful civilizations of its time, but in just a few short years, it collapsed into dust. Was it truly the arrival of Spanish conquistadors that led to the fall? Or is there a deeper, more complex story, one of betrayal, prophecy, disease, and divine deception? Tonight on Secrets Beyond Time, we travel to the last days of the Aztec Empire to uncover the hidden truths behind its fall. Truths the history books often leave out. 1. The rise of a golden empire. Long before the Spanish ships appeared on the horizon, the Aztecs were the rulers of a thriving empire that stretched across much of central Mexico. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, was a marvel of engineering. Built on a series of islands in Lake Texcoco, connected by bridges, canals, and aqueducts, the Aztec economy was rich in agriculture, trade, and tribute from conquered cities. Their culture was deeply spiritual, centered on gods like Huitzilopochtli and Quetzalcoatl, and their calendar systems rivaled those of the Maya in sophistication. Their warriors were feared, and their society was hierarchical, with nobles, priests, warriors, and commoners each playing a vital role. But with such expansion came resentment. Many surrounding city-states lived under Aztec control, not willingly, but through force, taxation, and sacrifice. And in the shadows, destiny waited. 2. The prophecy that shook an empire. According to Aztec legend, the god Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, had once left their land with promise to return in a year marked by the same symbol on the Aztec calendar, Suacatl 1 reed. That year, 1519. It was also the year that Hernan Cortez arrived. To many Aztecs, Cortez, tall, pale-skinned, with shining armor and riding beasts they'd never seen before, seemed divine. The coincidence was too great. Could this be the god returned? Montezuma II, the ruler of the Aztecs, was torn. Some sources suggest he believed Cortez was a god himself. Others believe he was simply trying to avoid war while assessing this strange new visitor. But in trying to preserve peace, he may have sealed his own fate. 3. The invasion, weapons, allies, and disease. The Spanish were few in number, only a few hundred men. But they had guns, cannons, steel swords, and horses, which terrified native warriors. More importantly, they had enemies of the Aztecs willing to join them. The Tlaxcalans, long oppressed by the Aztecs, allied with the Spanish and provided thousands of warriors. With their help, Cortez marched toward Tenochtitlan, destroying cities along the way. Inside the capital, tensions grew. Montezuma was eventually taken hostage in his own palace, a symbolic death blow to Aztec morale. But the real killer came silently. Smallpox. Introduced by the Europeans, this virus ravaged the Aztec population, killing tens of thousands within months. It spread faster than any sword or spear, weakening the empire from within. 4. The siege and fall. After a failed uprising that forced the Spanish to flee the city in what is known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows, Cortez returned with a massive army of indigenous allies. In 1521, after months of siege, starvation, and disease, Tenochtitlan fell. The once glittering city was burned, its temples razed, its canals filled with rubble. The last emperor, Cuauhtémoc, was captured and tortured, marking the symbolic end of Aztec resistance. What followed was not just conquest, but destruction of civilization. Its records burned, its gods outlawed, its people enslaved. 5. The myths, manipulations, and hidden truths. But was it really a fair fight? The Spanish conquest narrative, mostly told by the victors, glorified Cortez and demonized the Aztecs. They painted them as brutal savages who deserved to fall. In reality, the Aztecs had a rich culture with art, astronomy, and governance systems far ahead of their time. The role of native allies is often erased in history. The conquest was not just European versus indigenous. It was a complex civil war manipulated by foreign invaders. And the prophecy? Some historians believe Cortez knew of it and used it to his advantage, fueling the myth that he was a god to confuse and control. The fall of the Aztecs wasn't a simple clash of civilizations. It was a result of deception, disease, spiritual manipulation, and betrayal. The story of the Aztecs is not just about conquest. It's a cautionary tale about power, faith, and how easily entire civilizations can vanish when they underestimate the enemy or themselves. But their legacy lives on in ruins, in language, and in the bloodlines of modern Mexico. If this deep dive into the fall of the Aztec Empire moved you, be sure to subscribe to Secrets Beyond Time. We uncover stories buried beneath centuries of silence. And tell us in the comments, do you believe the Aztecs could have survived if not for the prophecy and disease? Until next time, stay curious. And remember, history hides more than it reveals.